One, we must understand the entrepreneurship lies in our DNA. And that comes from the fact that most of our startups and most of our people who are in startups and their GDP contribution is far superior, including the Silicon Valley, where it is our boys and our girls who are heading those startups. And it is they who initiated early in days and went there, and they are the ones who are controlling the business model. Now once they can do it there, why can't that happen here? For a simple reason that whatever exactly is required for a startup is not available. And what is required? One is skill training, which we don't have. We don't have any skill development campuses. So solution as a policymaker I can think outrightly is that we need two very large centers for skill development and startup campuses, maybe one in up north and one down south, maybe one close to Bangalore because Bangalore is a startup hub, and one close to Delhi because Delhi in northern region is the startup hub. We need to be product-based, and the moment we become product-based, not just the revenue but the export and everything else goes up, and we start controlling the markets. Now India being a country which controlled about 30% of the world GDP some 100 years, 200 years ago, has reduced itself to less than 2%. Less than 2%. It's shameful. And the whole thing lies that we are reducing ourselves. The best brains are not being used up for product manufacturing, and we are not making products, and thus we are lacking in export, we are lacking in management, we are lacking in finance, and we are lacking in value-added product. We don't have that system. Once I was reading something and I came across that most of the startups begin with a self-finance model. Now, self-finance model obviously is not a non-sustaining model. So somewhere the startups need that financial support, and that financial support needs to come from the market, which is not coming. Now when I'm using a word startup, I'm definitely not saying it or reducing it to only the corporate structure. I'm reducing it to even individual structuring. And when I'm reducing it and breaking it down to individual structuring, we don't have a system where in terms of auditing, anybody has to say that with the balance sheet, how many people are getting employed. So at a policy level, I think when it is a question of employment generation, we need to also have some system and some mechanic in place to know exactly the employability, employment, and number of people you have employed, so revenue generation and sharing of the revenue. When we are talking of social engineering, we talk of reservations. Reservations to be given in government jobs and PSUs. Both the government jobs and PSUs have reduced numbers in terms of employment. Now when the number itself or the vacancy itself, both in the central government and state government, have reduced, so what kind of reservation can bring in the change? I think the social engineering can shift it to entrepreneurial training along with soft loans, and then working it out, especially for SC, ST and OBC community, so that it is a ground for ownership. The private ownership is what will change the society. It is to be heard, not to be told. So I'm here to hear you all and answer a couple of questions rather than be here to tell you like I know it all. I don't know it all, but these are a couple of ideas which I would like to share and base my premise on that. Thank you.